what is going on? We are back after a 3 week hiatus. It's been a long time. It's your boy Sean, aka Puff Comics 83, and we are back. I got my boy Ranger Vigilante. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. Like had also some nice weeks, and of course, like the big hit in those weeks is like the Hulkster's dead.
Yeah, no more Hulk Hogan.
No more Hulk Hogan, and I think like we all said it like in the backstage, it just feels so strange to be in a world without Hulk Hogan. Whether you loved him, whether you liked him, you whether you can see what he contributed to the world of wrestling or not, it's just like it feels very strange that he's no longer with us.
And remember when I sent you that photo a couple weeks ago? When Macho Man, Tiny Lister, and Sherry all gone.
Yeah.
Now you can add Hogan to that list. So that 89 SummerSlam main event. It's like, man. So this is our SummerSlam discussion. We are going to talk everything SummerSlam. We're going to talk briefly about the recent SummerSlam that happened this past weekend.
I want those hours back.
Hey, I only watched night 1, and then night 2 I had to be at work, and I saw clips of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I did.
I watched night 1 like on the playback on the network, and I watched night 2 live.
Man, and then we're gonna do our top 10 favorite SummerSlam matches, and then we're gonna talk the elephant in the room, which is the passing of Hulk Hogan, because it's a lot of controversy. It's a lot of mixed emotions when it came to the passing of Hulk Hogan. So we're going to discuss that. So overall, your thoughts on SummerSlam 2025?
Like, if you talk just from a creative standpoint, which of course, if you ignore that they made fucking bank for selling out the stadium for 2 nights, there was absolutely no creative reason to have SummerSlam for 2 nights.
I agree.
There were matches on there that
they were TV matches.
Yeah, you can hardly argue for them to be a Raw main event these days, and then also Cornette already talked about it, Stevie Richards already talked about it, but Lyra Valkyrie breaking out of the thing and then getting back in, it's like you have to think, like, you have to be on your foot, you have to sell this. Like, it's I know, like, they're breaking kayfabe left and right everywhere, but I don't want them to break it during a match.
Who in the right mind said 25 minutes for these two? I legit was fast forwarding through that. I was like, why is this match so long?
And also it's just, the thing is that the only thing I watch on a weekly basis is NXT. And when Lyra Valkyrie was in NXT, she was nowhere to be ready for going up. Like, they're like Sol Ruka, like Lash Legend. You have like people like in NXT who, even before Julia and Stephanie Vercaer, etc., arrived, like, you had a lot of people there that were way further than Lyra Valkyrie. Everything, she got a little bit better since, but she can't, to save her life, sell a work punch. Like, it's everything that she does has such low impact that it's like immersion breaking, and the only reason that she got up is probably because Becky Lynch wanted to do her a favor. Like, there's like no other reason to have Lyra Valkyrie already up. Like, this is like damaging her. Like, this is not good for her. If she ever gets there, she would have at least needed like 1 more year in NXT.
I think better off having Becky versus
it's just like. And another thing, like we're also gonna talk later about, like when we have a top 10 SummerSlam list, that the TLC match they had.
Train.
It's like, I know there were a lot of epic spots in there, but the problem with this is the gimmick doesn't make the wrestlers. The wrestler must make the gimmick. And there are people in there that sacrificed their health. They maybe took bumps that gonna lower their careers for like a few years even, and nobody will remember that they took the spots because they're not over. The only over team in there, like of course, like is like the Motor City Machine Guns. They're legendary, but not because they were in this match. Like the
They're legendary because of their past history.
Exactly, but this match did nothing to them, and this match won't do anything for the Wyatt Six. Like nobody cares about the Wyatt Six. Then they don't do anything about Ciampa and Montez Ford. And Montez Ford should have had a single run since at least 2 years.
The match was just there to get bodies on the show.
Absolutely, and it's just such a waste to sacrifice the health of people. And the TLC match is pretty much sacrificing the health of the people in there, especially with those crazy bumps that they took. And such a match you should only put in there when the teams that are in the match already have a history. For example, like the Hardys, like Edge and Christian, and like the Dudleys. It's like TLC didn't make them; they made TLC.
And it was all due to their match at WrestleMania, the Triangle Ladder match.
Yeah,
that led to that TLC moment.
Exactly.
So it's like, oh, now this is legendary status.
Yes, exactly. Like people get a gimmick over, but a gimmick can't get somebody over for like longer than a night.
And that's the problem with the modern wrestlers. Like, they use these gimmick matches and just throw wrestlers in there and say, hey, go out there and do some crazy stunts.
Yeah.
But it's like too many people and too many of these wrestlers, they look at what they did in those TLC matches and they want to emulate it. They want to overdo it. They do all these crazy wild spots and like, oh, if I do this, they'll remember me. No, they won't. Nobody compared to the Edge and Christian and the Hardys and Dudleys.
You have to be at a certain point to already get there. And I think another problem is with current wrestling, where also I watched like Stevie Ritchie's like review about the SummerSlam and about like also about the other stuff, and he I think he said it that it's basically it's like you need to focus about like the Cody Rhodes, the Jey Usos, because not about the Cenas and the CM Punk because they're already old. It's like Cody and Jey are like in their 40s. It's like Tommaso Ciampa like comes out from NXT like already basically like being on the wrong end of his 30s. Yes, absolutely. We live in a time where, thanks to nutrition, where thanks to more advances like in the medical field, people in their 40s can still very much perform on a high level.
But look at Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Those guys are 50 and they still look good.
I mean, like there's like they're just like crazy. They're
genetic freaks.
Yeah, they're genetic freaks. Absolutely, and it's like I think they are totally right now. They're lacking like the people that are basically at the mid or end of the 20s. They've either like very young people right now, or people that are already like at the end of the 30s and 40s. There's almost like there's like a generation missing in between. That because people that are like now 28, 29 should actually be in the main event.
I'll say this. I'm sick and tired of Seth Rollins. I'm tired of him, and I had a gut feeling that something like this was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't blame Seth Rollins, uh, because I mean he's like a company man. He's like there for whatever
Top
they
tier.
need him, and personally I think that he deserves another run with the World Championship because of like I mean he put Cody over big. You know, when Cody came back, he laid down for him like 3 times. Um, then also later, you know, he's always there. You know, when somebody new, like with a shiny, like then shiny new toy comes in, Seth Rollins is the one who does the job, like to make the other person look good. So I really think,
He had to deal with a lot of shit after the whole Bray Wyatt Hell in a Cell situation,
yeah,
and that wasn't even his fault. That was the booking.
exactly. So personally, even though there should be, like I said, like talent in their late 20s that actually should be in those spots, it's not Seth Rollins' fault that they are not. Like Seth is doing a fantastic job. Like every wrestling company would be happy to have like a Seth Rollins, somebody who truly is actually the anti wrestler by not minding putting other people over.
I don't know why I thought when you said company guy, I'm thinking John Cena because you talk about the ultimate company man.
But
This dude,
who
he,
did put let's be who did Cena put over?
I mean, he put over a couple guys, but not to the point that they become the new company guy.
Yeah, he put them over and later crushed them again. Like you know when
Yeah.
you put over Edge and then suddenly it's like, well,
Oh no! See that when he put over Edge, that was still early in Cena's career, so of course he was going to crush him right after that. And like I'm talking about like more in the mid 2000 teens, where you know he started wrestling guys like Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan and all that stuff. He put him over, but it wasn't to the point where they got over and then became the new face of the company. You know, by the time he lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, I'm like, it's too little, too late. Cody already a made man.
I mean, you only have to ask Wade Barrett.
So, like, my issue with Seth Rollins is that he comes off as too much of a company man to the point where I just get turned off by it. And you know how I feel when it comes to being the ultimate top tier company guy. You do things that gets yourself even more over at the detriment to others.
Yeah, but I also do think that there's like a problem with WWE ever since TKO got in, that basically it just feels also like, you know, that basically he's climbing the company ladder.
He'll be working in TKO once he's done.
Like Triple H is gonna be worried about his job when that.
Yeah.
When The Rock ever finished the cube that he started, the Rubik's cube that he started.
But yeah, it's just watching SummerSlam. It's a bore fest. That opening tag match with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns against Braun Breaker, and it's like Jesus.
First of all, I do think that you're diminishing Roman Reigns like in such a match. I do
an important match.
Yeah, I do still think that if Roman is not in the title picture, he should be off screen anyway. Like Roman is an attraction, and it just felt wrong to have him like in the first match, and such an and the Schuler Fala. I mean, it's funny, but it's like that was not the booking that I appreciate. I mean, CM Punk versus Gunther was a fantastic match.
But see, here's the thing with that match. That match was 30 minutes, and it felt like you just knew that they was going to do something at the end, because they were like forcing the issue, like, this match is going to go long. We're going to wear Punk out. Punk was fighting from underneath the whole match.
Everybody knew that everybody that watches you like wrestling YouTube basically had more than an inkling that Seth would cash in.
I just don't like matches going long for the sake of another storytelling element being added.
I mean, for
because
me,
that's my biggest issue with Cena versus Cody Rhodes. That match was way too long, way too many kickouts or finishers, and it's like, you gonna win? You gonna end the match like that? And then you bring Brock Lesnar back for what? I don't want to see Brock Lesnar no more.
I mean, you know, the moment that a black person won the championship, Cody Rhodes, that Brock Lesnar is coming back to. Brock Lesnar has like a radar when a black person wins a championship. Like,
so it's like, and the thing with AEW, and I gotta throw AEW in because they had a fucking 6.5 hour pay-per-view. Who is asking for these long, brutal shows? Who? Like, who wants to sit through this shit? It makes no sense. That you had SummerSlam be 2 nights. That's like 6 hours combined.
There must be something. Boring. Yeah, there must be something in between, like 6-hour events and the Triple H 5 matches purely. There must be something in between. And personally, also think that you should not have like a formula for all the minor or like for the PLEs. I do feel that every PLE should like have its own, a life on its own, and that you just think, okay, this time it feels right to do this, and other times it feels right to do that. And it's also so everything right now, you know, it doesn't even matter how they call the PLEs, they're all so interchangeable. You know, when you look at the SummerSlam, the SummerSlam was basically just a longer regular PLE, but it didn't really have like a soul.
None whatsoever. It just felt like it was there just to exist.
Yeah.
They didn't even pull the trigger on Jade Cargill, and it's like, well, shit, now her push is over.
That might be her fault. What I heard is that she burned a lot of bridges backstage, also with Bianca, and Tiffy is so over, so it's very easy to keep her as a champion because she's really over with the crowd.
But again, if WWE knew that Jade wasn't ready, they should have debuted her in NXT first and get her more reps.
And also other things is they kept her off for way too long. And there's nothing, you know, not everything that happened in the past is bad. You know, you can still have a few seconds squash matches. You know, like WWE fired in the time when since Jade was hired, they fired so many talent. You could have totally squashed them, like on their way out. On their way out, like there is like no harm in that, and they basically, you know, the hype when Jade came, they really made her look like a star. Like the Royal Rumble appearance, absolutely fantastic, her first one. And then they totally fumbled it. Like they just like, yes, she was not at, or maybe still is not in a situation that she can lead a match, that she can be in a longer match. But let her squash some talent. You know, you can also let her squash. You know, you have Evolve, you have LFG, like you have basically two fucking farm rosters for your farm roster NXT. Like,
hell, you could send her to TNA if you want.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, see, we talked about this. We like how we wasn't 100% sold on Trick Williams early on. Now we're sold on him. You know, like, is he the best in the ring? No, but he's getting better.
Exactly,
and power to work.
And what really helped him was like TNA. It was like really to be like, you know, because NXT has like a certain style that where everybody feels a little bit interchangeable at a point, except if you're like just like over family and you're just like, damn, like, well, he had after his first match, he was like ready for the main roster because he's just a force of nature. But like a lot of people, like Trick, who came from another sport, and they didn't have like the class. They didn't come up like in the indies. They need to go out there and experience different kinds of wrestling and how you can get over when your speech is like not scripted and when you have to. I think Gunther said something so fantastic, some great in his interview with the Undertaker. Uh, that Gunther said that it's way harder to perform like in a gymnasium in front of 20 people than in a stadium of 20,000. It's way harder to get like 20 people behind you. I'm not saying TNA is only 20 20 people in the audience, but it's a different audience than the NXT audience, where with NXT, even though it's like a smaller crowd, but it's basically, since some of the fans you see, they're basically there every week, it feels like performing in front of your family almost. So TNA did wonders for Trick, and he right now feels like a star.
Yeah, and I think that's what Jade needed, because I felt like the years in AEW really didn't do nothing for her in terms of growing. Whereas I felt like if she had grown under Shawn Michaels, he could have gave her some more tips on how to do things.
Absolutely. In LFG, you have Smiley Kylie Ray, fantastic indie wrestler. I've seen her like in GCW. She will never ever be in the main WWE roster. So have her one time out there and let her be squashed by Jade. Like Kylie will be happy. Yeah.
You had your jobbers, and we say jobbers. Dustin Rhodes don't like us saying that word, but we're gonna say it. But you had their specific job is to get the talent over, to make them look good.
Exactly.
And you got people out there that their main job is say, "Oh, I can get that person over," or "I know how to sell the her moves and make it look devastating." That's why we love the old days of squashes, because Sid looked like a monster back in early WCW. And there was a Saturday night WCW Saturday night match. I think Dirty Dick Murdoch and Greg the Hammer Valentine against two jobbers. Man, they were beating these guys up, beating one of them up. The dude made a tag to a younger guy. He jumped over the top rope like he was about to start something. Dick Murdoch just blasted him. This shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, those jobbers know their job. Get in there, make the guys look good, and get them.
Just don't fuck with Perry Saturn as a chopper.
So it's like the talent today, they don't have the wherewithal to say these jobber matches can enhance your star ability, and there's no Brooklyn Brawlers, there's no Barry Horowitz, there's not a common jobber out there that oh, I know him, he's normally a jobber, but he's gonna make him look good.
Yeah, it's like I know everything about now is star power, etc. But Velocity, Heat, they were there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I do think that SmackDown and Raw should have one or two short, just chopper matches on their card.
Yeah, not every match should be an important match.
Yeah,
and they don't have long matches, but at the same time, it's everything feels more tied to storytelling.
And another problem that they have nowadays is almost like in these matches, they're just afraid they're not afraid to put somebody over, but they're afraid to make another person look bad.
I saw something.
Hey, Jace.
What's up? Black Baron. But I saw an interview with Rhea Ripley. And this ties into how the mindset of today's wrestlers are. The dude asked a question about the whole Bianca, Rhea, and Io Sky WrestleMania match, and how she felt about them putting Io in the match. Because, and Bianca even said on the Chris Van Vliet show, she never had a one-on-one match against Rhea on the main roster. And I remember before WrestleMania, I wanted to see Bianca versus Rhea, because that's a marquee match.
they're so afraid that one pins the other and one looks bad that.
But Rhea's whole notion was, when Triple H came up to her and said, what do you think about adding EO to the match, make it a triple threat? She was fine with it because she felt that EO deserved a spot. She deserved a shine at WrestleMania. And it's like, that's the mentality that did not exist back in the day. They like, nah, this is our spot. We gonna have this, and we not gonna let nobody else get involved.
And it's like, ask Hogan, ask Randy Savage, ask Roddy Piper the same question.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
They gonna look at it like, nah, this is the marquee matchup. We're not gonna, add somebody else that really doesn't add to our marquee. But Rhea was fine with it. Bianca was fine with it.
Yeah.
They wanted EO to have that shine.
Yeah. And Chase, absolutely right. And like we said before, back in the day, if a chopper tried to get their shit in, it's like good night.
I'll never forget when the first time I saw Kyle Felcher on AEW, he fighting Swerve Strickland when he just won the title. And he going 15 minutes with this man. I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? And he was Ring of Honor TV champ, which is completely irrelevant. And yet he going 15 minutes with your world champion. Can you imagine Hulk Hogan debuting as world champ and he's going 15 minutes with a nobody?
Nah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, and
it's looking things backwards.
Yeah, and I really think this is like almost like a lost art form. Because today everybody thinks about, they want to sell the show. There are no more chopper shows. There are like no really there's no really B or C shows anymore.
The velocity, the medals, and all that stuff.
It's like there should be, and if there is, of course, it's like, with Evolve and LFG, but it's like it's disconnected for the main product. It does interfere with NXT a little bit, so actually would say that if you would see that NXT is like a main roster and you have like Evolve or LFG, that works actually really good. And this is also why NXT is actually the most entertaining weekly wrestling show, because they do actually sometimes do like squash matches and. But also, like, I don't want to fault like Triple H so much up there because he has to report to TKO, and I'm pretty sure that TKO doesn't care so much about NXT. So Sean has more for free reign to like do his stuff, while like with Hunter, like there's a reason that his head look almost purple.
I'll say
like every time you see it.
And I'll say this again: them females in NXT, they lucky this is not mid-90s Sean. they lucky this ain't mid-90s Sean, because he's having way too much fun now. But if it was mid-90s Sean, it'd be
yeah.
But yeah, just SummerSlam overall. Night one was just the CM Punk Gunther match was match of the night.
Yeah, I mean it totally was, but also there was like not really. Like, I mean, poor Karrion Kross. Sami Zayn is so fucking boring. Then
I'd rather him put the mask back on and go back to El Generico or something.
Yeah.
Olay!
Then also, I really think that Raquel and Roxanne, they were actually a really cool team after Liv was hurt. So I actually would really like that they had like a longer run with the title, and then maybe Liv coming back and saying it's like, hey, I belong in that tag team, to build up like that feud. I'm a big Charlotte fan, but even though they're riding with her and Alexa is not bad, like the whole thing is actually, it's pretty working, it's getting over. I wouldn't have put the title of Raquel. And Raquel, like her recent promo was actually so good, like the promo she did with the Judgment Day for AAA.
Yeah.
It was a really good against
And-
Lola
and-
Weiss.
And I will say, the less said about that damn tag match with Randy Orton and Jelly Roll.
I didn't watch it. I skipped it. Like this is like
don't care.
I'm not interested.
A wasted match. Like, we don't care
Yeah.
about Jelly Roll.
Yeah,
So-
like I didn't even watch that match because first of all, I have no idea who this Jelly Roll guy is.
You hear the name and it's like, who the fuck named themselves Jelly Roll?
Like, and it's like I don't want to see like Logan Paul is like a different because he actually really treats it like wrestling.
Shit like this makes you appreciate Mr. T and LT more than anything.
I still to this day I think that the Lawrence Taylor Bam Bigelow match is heavily underrated.
Yeah, and it makes you appreciate it compared to these recent celebrities.
There should have not been a WrestleMania main event.
It shouldn't have been. This will be a match that should have been a SummerSlam main event that we're going to talk about on our top 10 list.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, SummerSlam 2005, it was just disappointment.
And
It's like WrestleMania all over again. We were disappointed with WrestleMania. I was disappointed with the Royal Rumble. And this was disappointing. And it really, like, modern wrestling is just really, I'm getting fed up with it.
Yeah.
And just rewatching some of the matches on our SummerSlam list, I'm like, man, it really makes me just appreciate the era that we grew up in.
But I do have to say, night 2, of course, like Naomi versus Rio was a really good match. I think it could have gotten a little bit more time to breathe even, and I mean, the whole build-up with AJ.
Yeah, the AJ Dominic was fun.
That was fun. I loved the whole build-up, when AJ like took the different costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say though, like, when it comes to AJ, he's just having fun. He knows his time is winding down, and the match he had with Dom was just super fun. You could just tell he was enjoying it. So.
Absolutely, but yeah. So let's get in our top 10 list for our favorite SummerSlam matches ever. Do you want to start?
All right, so I'm gonna go through my honorable mentions first, and then I'll do my number 10. My honorable mention. I think this match was underrated from the SummerSlam 1994 Diesel versus Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental Championship.
That's on my honorable match. This one.
I always liked that match, and you talk about a match when you think Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam, they always have some great matches, and these two really pull out all the stomps. You had the great sweetness, Walter Payton at ringside, and he got involved, stopping Shawn Michaels from interfering, and they just pulled out a really good, solid mid-card title match.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. If it would have been probably on my top 10 list because of nostalgia. If nostalgia would not have been me being a big Diesel mark, going to school next day, and my fucking cousin being a big Razor mark, like having the grin over like the sides. It's like, if I wouldn't have like this bad memory that I was so angry as a Diesel mark, especially also at Shawn Michaels, because that shit like kept happening.
And it was a nice extension of the Razor Shawn feud by getting Diesel involved.
Absolutely, it was booked fantastically. But of course, when you have the memory of like being back then, like 11-year-old Mark, where you're a big Diesel fan, you go into, oh, he's gonna crush Razor, oh, he has him, and then it's like, oh, like, no, get away, Shawn, this will backfire. I mean, like, still one of my favorite promos afterwards is, of course, Diesel with Justice the tag team. Like, there's a pins.
This 94 was when Diesel was really coming into himself with his character, and I thought like this match, the match he had with Brett at King of the Ring, like it really showed like, hey, Diesel can work, And people like to give Kevin Nash shit. I'm like, Kevin Nash can work with the right people. whether
Yes.
it's his friends or whether it's with Brett or people that knows his strengths and weaknesses, he can work. So again, it was one of my low-key favorite matches from that show.
Yeah.
My other honorable mention is the Cena match. But
There's gonna be no Cena match on mine.
There's another Cena match in my top 10, but this one is against Daniel Bryan, SummerSlam 2013. Daniel Bryan wins the title only to get screwed over by Randy Orton in the cash-in. So, but I thought the match was well worked. This was around the time where Cena was like working with a lot of people that we knew from the indies, like Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and stuff like that. He trying to change his style and adjust to work their style of match. And I thought he did well for himself. But the match to me was about Daniel Bryan and what he did. And for somebody who followed him since Ring of Honor and all the independent stuff, it was a great moment to see him beat Cena for the title, only for them to undo it. But I don't consider that part a part of the match. I just consider the match he had with Cena, and it was a good match. My next one is underrated, and I wish they had more matches. The Hart Foundation versus the Brainbusters, SummerSlam '89. I love that match. And it's like the Brainbusters were the tag champs, but it was a non-title match. And I love listening to Jesse Ventura like, oh, the match was signed before they won the title, so they don't need to put the belts on the line.
Exactly, don't make sense. And this is my number 10.
Oh, nice. It's gonna be a lot of Bret Hart and Hart Foundation stuff.
Yeah, this is my number. This is my number 10 because first of all, it's a dream match. You have the Hart Foundation. You have two of the Four Horsemen. You have Tony Blanchard and Arn Anderson, which I'm a huge mark for Arn Anderson. This is like a masterpiece in a clinic in selling, timing, and psychology. You know, it's the match ending with Arn making like double X handle from the ropes, and it looks like he killed Bret. Bret's so dead, so fucking well. You know, no 1,000 flips, just a very believable double X handle like to the head.
Back when moves like that was still believable, because legitimately, if you double, you knocked out. Legitimately.
Exactly. I think the double X handle is such an underrated move, and especially, you know, when Arn does a move, like, it looks real. You know, this is just believable, and it's just it's a dream for any technical fan. You have so much talent in there, and Jim Neidhart.
Hey, Jim Neidhart knew his role.
Exactly, he absolutely knew his role, and it also speaks like a lot for him that he didn't stick out like a sour thumb in the ring with these 3 ring geniuses. You know, I told already backstage that actually when you look at SummerSlam, I think SummerSlam is the pay-per-view that you can most identify like with Bret Hart. You can make a top 10 list out of Bret Hart's matches only, except against Isaac Yankee.
I saw the video, the table for 2 with Jerry Lawler, Kane, and Bret Hart, and they talked about that match. And I remember watching that match because I got the SummerSlam collection. I'm like, man, people shit on this match. This match is pretty cool.
I mean, it's decent, but it's still
they work well
to
make the match good. The match did not suck. And it's hard to get Bret Hart and to work a match that sucked.
The match did not suck. The build-up sucked very much.
The build-up sucked. And we all know that. But we know that Bret Hart can work wonders with anybody.
Yeah.
And my last honorable mention. Oh, you got one more to say?
I wanted to say, like, I put it like on my top 10 list. First of all, because Four Horsemen, Hart Foundation, this is just a dream match, very much underappreciated. I can totally see if somebody else would say, I would put the Demolition match, the 2 out of 3 falls there.
That is in my top 10.
Yes, I can totally see when somebody else put that over that match, but like Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Bret
Like I said,
Hart, it's just awesome. This is a match where probably a lot of newer fans that dip into the old stuff would overlook, but when they actually watch it, it's like, wait a moment,
man, look,
this is tag.
WWE Vault put the SummerSlam '89 up last month, I think.
Yeah.
And people was like, man, this is a great damn match. And the psychology, the arm work from Bret Hart early in the match, you know, him keeping Tully away from tagging on. Just the psychology of how they work the tagging.
This is also, this is a match that you also really should show as a blueprint to every modern tag team, because I think everybody, it almost seems like everybody unlearned what a hot tag should look like.
They unlearned a lot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, my final honorable mention is actually from the same show. The Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing Rick Rude for the Intercontinental Championship. I love this fucking match, man. The build up,
I can understand it.
The whole rivalry they had that whole year, and Rude winning the title from Warrior at WrestleMania, and then the build up to the rematch. It's just, this is what mid-card title matches should be.
I would
It's like a semi-main event match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like for the Intercontinental Champ, and these two are really going at it. And Jesse Ventura really sold it on commentary.
Yes.
I still get a laugh at when Warrior used the belt. Like, that should be a disqualification. Where the hell is the referee?
Oh, I love Jesse.
This shit still makes me laugh. So wait, so he could shoot somebody outside the ring? It's legal?
Oh. And then he does absolutely nothing in the first main event of SummerSlam, when Elizabeth is like very heelish to help like the Mega Powers win. But yeah, you know what? Also, the fantastic thing about the Intercontinental match between Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior is that it also gave so much more gravitas to the later steel cage match for the WWF title. So that match also lived. I mean, it was a good steel cage match. We're gonna talk about a way better steel cage match today, later. But also, like, the importance of that match also stems from the rivalry that Rick Rude and the Warrior had before that. I would even go so far to say that when you look at the Warrior's career, that actually Rick Rude is like his number one nemesis before anybody else.
Like, Rick Rude got the best out of Warrior. You know, like, when you look at those three matches, the SummerSlam match from '89 is, to me, the best of the three. I like the '90s steel cage match.
Yeah.
And the WrestleMania match was okay, but this match to me was the best of them.
Absolutely.
So that's my honorable mention. Now, do you have any other honorable mentions? I'll let you.
Yes, I have one honorable mention where I'm pretty sure it's going to be in your top 10 list, which is Bret versus Mr. Perfect for the IC title, SummerSlam 91. So I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about that later. And then I have a match on there that is not a good match, but it's just a match that belongs there because of wrestling history, because of everything wrong about backstage politics in wrestling, which can make a match very entertaining. It's 05 Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels. It's like there's everything wrong with that match. Shawn Michaels very much admits it today, but this is just, you have two egos. You have one ego that has a little bit more experience in backstage politicking than the other, even like two masters of backstage politicking. And like the match alone, when you see, when the Hulkster does the big boot and drops Michaels, and then he turns around and Michael stands and he was about to get angry, but Michael just like oversells it so much. And it's just like this match, every this match is so much more entertaining when you know what is going on.
It's like Shawn Michaels took the overselling that Mr. Perfect did with Hogan and took it up 10 times more. That match is entertaining just for the wrong reasons.
Exactly. This is, rest in peace, Hulkster.
Yeah, that's a good one there, man.
Yeah. But yeah, then we already talked about my number 10, the Brainbusters was the Heart Foundation. What is your
that's a good choice, man. I'm glad you put it on there because originally it was in my top 10 before I made some revisions. But yeah, that is a solid pick. My number 10 is a match that really launched these two into the main event scene. And that's SummerSlam 1998, The Rock versus Triple H ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, the match as a whole, it's really good. The only thing that holds it back is the slow-ass Rock climbing the ladder. Yeah. But at least I can buy it because The Rock is big at that time, and he's not going to climb the ladder super fast. But what I love about the match is the storytelling. Triple H selling the knee and him being at a disadvantage, and The Rock being super confident. He's got Mark Henry at his side, always helping him out, throwing powder in Triple H's eyes and stuff. And just the storytelling. It was The Rock coming off an 8-month title reign, and Triple H finally overcame that to win the belt with help from China. And that, to me, is how you elevate two new young talent to the next level. And to me, it's something of a lost art when it comes to modern wrestling, that they don't know how to take somebody who worked their way up, get to that mid-level title, and then say, now it's time to get to that next level. And once The Rock lost that match, we already knew he was main event. Automatic. Because the fans was cheering for him. That people elbow spot on the ladder, with Triple H laying on the ladder, man, New York City stood up for that. And it's like, right then and there, The Rock is the main event. He's going to be in fighting Steve Austin for the title.
Yeah.
We just knew it.
Yeah, can totally see it. The reason, I mean, it's still a legendary match that belongs, like that deserves to belong in a top 10 list. It didn't make my list because I never thought that The Rock had a very good ring chemistry with Triple H. I always
had so many matches against each other.
I know there's so many matches against each other, but maybe it's just for me. I always thought it was a little bit of a styles clash.
No, I feel like the 2 out of 3 falls match the month prior felt off because that was 30 minutes and they were just buying for time, and it just made the match feel drawn out just to be drawn out.
Yeah,
I felt like this match was way better.
Yeah, it was. For me, it's always where I think the methodical, slow-paced style from Triple H does not really work with the explosive style of The Rock.
But it wasn't like The Rock was wrestling with an explosive style himself.
I know, but it's I also like it's very hard to explain it. It's just when you just feel that the two characters, like the matches on paper, always you expect more than they actually deliver. It's also The Rock is explosive, that with his kick ups and of course his attitude, and Triple H is they're more plotting. It's like a personal thing, but for me, the most gravitas that I ever got from a confrontation from The Rock and Triple H was actually before WrestleMania 41, where The Rock is a final boss and it's you're lucky that you can't wrestle anymore. So it's just the matches for me. I always expected more than the delivery, but I can totally see. I mean, of course, from the whole a match that elevates both the wrestlers in there, and does totally hits the spot. I can totally see that this is a top 10 match. It's just for me subjectively, when I just expect more from Triple H and The Rock.
Well, keep in mind that this was only the third ladder match on pay-per-view. This was before they overused the whole concept. So for them,
I have another ladder match up on my top 10 list.
Oh yeah, I got 2 more.
Yeah.
So that's my number 10. And now number 9, you want to go on that?
Yes, number 9. We're going to SummerSlam 2018, which it's very crazy that one of the best TNA rivalries culminate in a WWE ring with AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Yes, Joe should have won the fucking title, but there you have so many callbacks in the match to their TNA time, and it's like really the point where I really think that Samoa Joe and AJ Styles were like, still at an age. I mean, AJ can still deliver and Joe too, but I think that this time, both very much believable heavyweight champions.
That would have been my number 5 on honorable mention, but I watched that match recently and I liked the match. I didn't love it though because number 1, Samoa Joe didn't win the title, and number 2, something felt off about it for me. Like, I liked the work, but when you've seen them wrestle, and not only in TNA, but in Ring of Honor, in IWA Mid-South, and PWG, you've seen all their stuff of the independent scene. You finally get excited to see their WWE work, and it's just a tame version of what you saw that was better in other promotions. And I get it. They are older here, and they're not going to wrestle that style that they wrestled early in their careers. But it's just that something felt off with it. And I love Samoa Joe's character working. The stuff he did with the family.
Yeah, with the family.
It's like,
I love it.
He was generating heel heat, like true heel heat.
He was almost like, it almost felt like that Christian for his patriarchy character like studied like the Samoa Joe angle here.
And I was like, man, if they would have generated even more heat during the match and Joe wins it, I would be like, all right, this is one of my favorites. But the match, it felt like it didn't get out of second gear for me.
Yeah, but what I also like very much about it is also the fact that basically in 2018 it showed like a WWE audience. Yes, this was going on while you guys were jerking off to Super Cena.
And look, who would have thought though? Who would have thought we would have seen AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe on a SummerSlam WWE pay-per-view
for the WWE Championship?
Who would have thought?
Like, exactly, I guess so. So like also for this historic part, the matches there, and also it's like it's Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. You're not getting a bad matchup.
Yeah, but it's just that when you've seen all their matches prior to this, you're like, I just can't say it's one of my favorites because it's a WWE produced match.
Yeah.
As opposed to what we know these two can deliver.
Yeah, but I do still think also like that the history between them like made this match also even better. Like at especially like also at this platform, of course, it's like a WWE produced match, but also we're talking like SummerSlams here, so.
Yeah, I know. I said I was like, I want to love this match more to put it in my top 10, but I don't. But it's still a good match, and it's a good pick for you, and I'm glad you brought it up because it does means a lot for these two to have a match at SummerSlam.
Exactly. This is like, of course, like every list is subjective, and And when I like rewatch some SummerSlam matches, I always get stuck at this match because it it still feels so unreal. Yeah, he should have totally won the world title. If he would have won the world title, this match would be even higher on my list.
Yeah, and Joe would have at least had a WWE championship on his resume.
Yeah.
Right. So my number 9, going back to SummerSlam 1990, the Hart Foundation versus Demolition 2 out 3 falls match for the tag team championships. That pop that they got when they won the titles will stick with you forever.
Yeah.
But the match itself, and mind you, this is a rematch from the 1988 SummerSlam. They fought in that SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And now 2 years later, they get this match. And this match was even better.
And it was booked so well. And also like the final cover by Brett, that was also such a, Brett has the most innovative covers always, and he went once again like to his creative well for that one. And also like the whole build up, the interviews before. But I mean, the of course, like it's, I remember back then, who maybe knows it was not scripted, but the balls of Demolition to call the Legion of Doom like the copycats.
That was one of the biggest disappointments of 1990, was the complete demise of Demolition after this whole match. And this was when Crush was added to the group. So Demolition was a 3-man group.
Yeah.
And because Axe was going through his issues with his health, so they had to have Crush be in it to compensate.
And they really wrote this very well into the story. So basically it worked like an advantage 3 against 2. So I mean, when you look at this, it's like, yes, this is good writing. And then you look at the modern SummerSlam, or like in the modern wrestling, where sometimes it's like, why is the babyface having the advantages to like fighting against some odds? So
and that's the thing, is like, and I miss the days where 2 out of 3 falls actually meant something. Like, you really had to work hard to win 2 out of those 3 falls.
Yeah.
And they really utilized the concept so well. It wasn't like the first 2 falls was in the first 5 minutes of the match, and then they go for like 7 minutes before the third fall ends.
Yeah. What I really dislike with what you see, there's like one thing what I don't like in NXT sometimes, when they go for the Heritage Cup and they're with the rounds, and the first like pinfall happens way too fast.
Yeah, it's like, there's no way you should get pinned that quickly and you ain't even take a finish.
Exactly. This can happen once every 50 matches, when you have like the roll up, one of the most dangerous moves.
And you know what I miss about the old format of those matches is that you hit your finish on the first fall and the referee got to say, man, you gotta let him recover. When Demolition hit the decapitator on Bret Hart, man, he was done. In modern times, they try and like, let me get a second pin, and then they kick out. And like, no, they shouldn't kick out, because you just got the finish. You lost to that finish. You shouldn't kick out the second time.
But it's like, what does a finisher really means anymore? Like when John Cena's FUs like Cody from the ropes and Cody kicks out, which. I fucking hate Cena, but the match should have been over at that point.
They both teams hit their finish, but again, like you said, the finish of the third fall was creative. Because Crush stumbled into Jim Neidhart jumping over the top rope into Crush to give him a shoulder, and he fall backwards over Bret, who was kneeled down, and then he pinned him.
Yeah, and also the interference of the Legion of Doom was very well written.
All they did was pull Axe out from underneath the ring.
Out underneath the ring, and they dragged him out.
They toss smash off the top rope.
Yeah. So that was like very well built in. So it's like I say, when you just look at it, like this is arguably like a bigger match than the ones against the Brainbusters, which the Brainbusters made this for me because it's like, of course, for me subjectively means more to me. But the Demolition, the 2 out of 3 Falls match it's a masterclass in tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
This is also a match that should be studied by the young people.
They ain't studying. But yeah, that's my number 9. So you already.
Yeah, my number 8, which is actually quite a recent match, and this goes very much with one of the matches that I had in my WrestleMania list, but this time there is no Sheamus in it. It's 2023 Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title. This is peak Gunther, not peak Walter, but this is peak Gunther, like at the threshold of getting for him to be the longest reigning Intercontinental champion. This match, I remember watching it live on stream. That this, I was really afraid that Drew might pull this out, like hard hitting, pure wrestling. And like I said with the other match, WrestleMania, the triple threat is like this match you can put in any era, it gets over. This match would get over in the era of Joe Hackenschmidt. This match would go over Bruno Sammartino style. This would go over in the golden era of wrestling, Hulk Hogan style. This one would get over like in the 90s, in the Attitude era. Like, this is just a pure wrestling match. Hard hitting, we talk a lot about positive things about Bret Hart on this list. Here's a little bit of crybaby, and he may not get like the hard style of wrestling that Gunther is doing.
Hey, Bret don't want those welts on his chest, man.
Yeah, but I believe that Bret would have not told Stan Hansen that his style is a little rough.
Bro, I was just thinking, as soon as you said Stan Hansen, I'm like, man, imagine Gunther versus Stan Hansen in the 80s. Gunther would fit perfectly in the 70s, 80s territory.
Absolutely. Like, you can put Gunther in any era and he would work.
He will be a monster heel. The NWA will put him as world champion in the 70s.
He will probably get a little bit of a different gimmick. But no, like he would have killed it as a heel on the territories.
Yeah, that's a good choice, man. That is a really good choice. But like I said, when it comes to modern wrestling, there's like few matches and wrestlers that really like capture my attention. But Gunther's Intercontinental Championship reign was fantastic. He really did a lot to elevate that belt.
Absolutely.
Because when we was talking about Warrior versus Rude, and this couple of Intercontinental title matches at SummerSlam, like SummerSlam was like
for the Intercontinental title,
you had great matches.
Might even be, when you look at the SummerSlam history, that along with being basically the pay-per-view that you can really embody, like with Bret Hart, might also be the one where, hey, this is the Intercontinental title pay-per-view or PLE now. So yeah, it's absolutely, and when you look at it, that Gunther made the Intercontinental Champion as much worth at this point as it was back then with the Warrior and Rick Rude, or with Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Or like the Texas Tornado and Mr. Perfect, which should have been a longer match. I would have loved to put it on, but it was a little bit too short.
Yeah, it's like I can imagine those two having way better matches, and they did have some great house show matches. That was recorded.
Also, talking about house show matches, like I said, give the person of the WWE World Channel a raise. The Ric Flair Hogan house show match that they put up, should have. It's like we really missed out on a Flair Hogan.
That page has been doing. They've been doing a great job. So my number 8 I'm gonna get it out the way. It's the only Cena match in my top 10 from 2016 SummerSlam. Cena versus AJ Styles. That was the match where it's like, oh, they serious with this AJ Styles push.
Probably courtesy of AJ Styles that this match is on the list.
Courtesy of AJ Styles. And when he won, I was like, oh, they serious with this. Because you think, the Golden Boy's gonna beat AJ Styles.
Yeah. Which is still, I think, a miracle that Vince put AJ Styles over.
Yeah. That's the shocker of it. That the fact that AJ went over and then he ended up becoming champion. It's like, man, you would not believe this shit if this was the mid 2000s when AJ was still in TNA. Like, if you would have told, going back in time, I'll tell you, hey, AJ's gonna beat John Cena in the main event of SummerSlam. Get the fuck out of here.
It's really like, I mean, I think like there's like only like over Vince's dead body.
Yeah. So it's crazy to think that AJ Styles has a victory over John Cena in SummerSlam. And the match was good. Like, I could have all my critiques on John Cena. But again, you put him in the ring with a really good worker, Cena tends to bring out his best.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can't do his normal stuff and think, I can get off to get by doing that. Like, nah, this is AJ Styles. He does things differently. And they really worked a great match. It's a match that I had to watch twice just to say, am I really believing that AJ Styles beat John Cena at SummerSlam? So, yeah, that's my number 8, AJ versus Cena.
Understandably, yeah, it's and finally we're no more Cena matches.
No more Cena match. That's it. That's the end of Cena.
Yeah. So number 7 would be actually higher on my list if there would not have been a certain WrestleMania 10 match that was the same.
Oh!
1995, Shawn Michaels getting his win back against Razor Ramon, the ladder match. Because when you look at it, it's technically sharper and more refined than the WrestleMania 10 match. Of course, you can't top the WrestleMania 10 match because you can only do it first once. But when you look at this match, it's actually even better. Like, objectively speaking.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is my number 2.
Oh. It would have been higher on my list if the WrestleMania 10 would not exist. This would have been...
Go ahead.
Yeah, if WrestleMania 10 would not exist, this would probably be my number 1 or 2.
The reason why I like this match a bit more than WrestleMania is because Razor had much more of an edge in this match compared to being more underneath and Shawn Michaels dominating the WrestleMania match. We got to see Razor being that cocky, arrogant tweener that he really should be. And he was way more aggressive here, and I loved it. I love Razor's aggression. I love his cockiness. When he dropped the ladder on Shawn's injured leg, that gets me every time. When he moved the ladder out the way when Shawn did the bicycle kick, and he just popped him. Oh, man. I love Razor's performance in this match to the point where I have no problem enjoying it a bit more than WrestleMania's because of Razor's performance. Shawn did his thing, but I felt Razor had just more edge to his character to really elevate this match.
Yeah, the only thing what keeps it also a little bit down, because even as I watched it, as not even a teenager back in the day, I was a mark, but I was smart enough to figure it out. It's like, yeah, probably Shawn is getting the win back at this one. So even as a kid, the match was a little bit predictable, but it takes nothing away from it being the better match, while the WrestleMania 10 match was already fantastic match.
Yeah. And the fact that they had to go into this match and they really couldn't use the ladder as a weapon because the whole thing in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania that they had to be creative with the ladder. They're like, you talk about putting pressure on your performance to go out there and say you can't use the ladder as a weapon. So they had to sneak in ways to use the ladder as a weapon.
And Razor and Shawn like challenge accepted.
So, yeah, I love this match. This is my number 2 match. So.
Understandably so. Like, just when you look at the pure match quality by itself, it deserves to be like in the top tier. Yeah. It's just for me like it's not the same in comparisons to Thief of Troy. It's like I love the WrestleMania 10 match so much that I can't put this higher here, even though it's objectively like the better match, but the WrestleMania 10 ladder match just means so much more to me.
Hey, that's perfectly acceptable. Yeah. Perfectly acceptable. Alright, so my number 7 is a match that I remember when I posted this years ago. When I looked on Instagram, it was 2017 when I did my list. This match had a lot of storyline going into it, a big storyline that happened in it, and a massive storyline that took place afterward. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker, SummerSlam 1997. This match here, you talk about storylines. You talk about Bret Hart winning his 5th WWF Championship. Back when just 5 meant something.
Yes.
You talk about Shawn Michaels being the referee and the whole tension between Bret and Vince McMahon, the scuffle that they had on Monday Night Raw. And it's like, man, this is intense. The match was good. I think they did better at one night only the next month. Yeah. The match was good, but the finish was amazing. And absolutely. You could not time it perfectly with how they set that up.
Yeah. This is like, and also like at a time where also I was also so very happy for The Undertaker because let's face it, like they gave him like a lot of matches at SummerSlams and WrestleManias before that. So basically he was just there to beat the freak of the week. He even had a fucking mirror match at SummerSlam. Like
and we'll get to that because we all know what the true main event of that show was.
Exactly.
But this match, the repercussions of this match, Shawn Michaels turned heel afterwards, started feuding with The Undertaker, and it sucked the entire life out of Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation. The Hart Foundation was dominating the storylines all of that year. And then soon as Shawn turned heel and formed DX, all the attention went to him and The Undertaker, and Bret Hart had the Fiend fighting the Patriot.
Well, I was watching WCW at that time, though.
But if you would have saw it live, you'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Bret Hart was carrying the company with the Hart Foundation. And that was the best thing of the year. The whole USA versus Canada.
Yeah. It's like, Bret Hart is so over in Europe that, even when there was like this teenage, like not teenage, like in 40s, like this magazine Bravo, this youth magazine Bravo. And he won they had like yearly prizes where you can send in, your most beloved star, and not an actor or anything always won it. Was always Bret Hart who won it.
Yeah, but the way that they did that match, bro, I'll tell you, Bret Hart can develop a spit bomb that you, between this and his spit on Vince McMahon after he got screwed, man. Bret Hart, he can shoot him.
I mean, there must be something in the saliva of the Hart family, also with Owen,
But yeah, like this whole match pretty much set up Montreal, and the way the story is told is like you can't get no more better storytelling than this. With all these intricate story elements being added, with Shawn Michaels being the ref, just turning heel, feuding with the Undertaker, it led to Hell in a Cell. It led to the Kane.
Yeah.
we don't see this type of storytelling like this no more.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's like when you really look back at it, it's mind-boggling what we experienced watching this live. Like you don't think about it then, but when you look back at it, it's like, man, there's a lot of intricate setups being made.
yeah, this was like you can really I don't know if this is a term, but you could basically say this is like a crossroads match that led in so many like directions.
Yeah.
It's you're absolutely right. Yeah, you know, it's like not only a good match by itself, but also like it really probably one of the when you think about it like it could even be like the starting domino for the Attitude Era.
Yeah, most definitely. This match had a lot of intricate layers to it that really, going forward, put the motion together to say the Attitude Era is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, it's a
So yeah,
very good point.
So that's my number 7.
So my number 6 is also basically one of the biggest storylines that turned into one of the biggest matches later on. It's SummerSlam 1988, the first main event, the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks, where as a wrestling match itself, you're not getting the finesse and except for Macho Man. It's like Andre is past his prime, still menacing as fuck. Hogan is he's just a he
He's
just
Hogan.
knows he plays people like a fiddle. And
he sure did play Macho like a fiddle.
yeah, and like also they have like Jesse Ventura as a guest referee, and like he added like the tension he added, from the beginning where he was going like the tag strings, and he was like slowly putting them on. Like it's just his preparation before the match started put even so much tension and gravitas on it. It's this is such a worthy first main event for SummerSlam that and this match basically made the SummerSlam a mainstay. The match would probably be even higher on my list if it weren't for that finish.
Yeah, the finish it's weak.
Yeah, and exactly. So it's like also like like this Elizabeth finish, like the Macho Man must have been furious after it. It definitely was like I lost the eyes everywhere. Everywhere.
But it's good that you put that match on there because
and also of course since it started like the Mega Powers, which of course led into the first really long-term story like highlight in WWF.
Yeah, but it's good that you added this match because it's when you think about Hulk Hogan and SummerSlam, it's those first 4 SummerSlams, and then you had the SummerSlam against Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton. So Hulk Hogan really doesn't have truly a defining match at SummerSlam. The Mega Powers match is probably one of the only matches because most of his matches early on were tag matches.
And
outside of the Earthquake match.
The Earthquake match was actually, I also think the finish was a little bit like,
I felt like, me personally, when you really go back and look at it, Earthquake should have been the one to challenge Warrior. But Hogan had to fight Earthquake and dethrone Earthquake, so it's
Hogan wants the big monsters. He wants the
big monsters. He don't want to give Warrior the big monster. I'll take the big monster.
And I mean, of course, when you look later at it, when you talk tag matches, it's like his tag match, like with the Ultimate Warrior.
The match that led to Warrior getting fired.
Exactly, where basically Warrior just runs out and Hogan is like Hogan is like doing his thing with Sid, like the guest referee, where Sid is coming back and Sid is posing with Hogan, which I mean,
it's crazy though. Hulk Hogan was champion for 2 of those SummerSlams, and he didn't even defend the belt.
Also, Warrior dead, Sid dead, Hogan dead, Sheik dead.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I was like,
And you think about it, of all those main events, Ted DiBiase, Brutus Beefcake, and Sergeant Slaughter are the only ones still alive for those matches. And yeah, those three.
Yeah, like like a few decades ago, before Brutus and Hogan like broke at their friendship up, I would have said like Brutus is getting burned alive with Hogan.
Yeah, it's crazy. My number 6, SummerSlam 2002. Now, as a whole, SummerSlam 2002 is fantastic. One of the best SummerSlams. And it was kind of hard choosing which match was my favorite, but I really love HBK's return match against Triple H in that street fight. Like, I really thought, like, it's like you questioning, like, man, can he still go after the back injury and stuff? And it's been a long time since we've seen Shawn Michaels, and he delivered in that match. Of course, it helps that he had his buddy Triple H to work with.
Yeah,
I thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought about it to put it in my honorable mentions. Like, but yeah, I can totally see it. It's just.
It showed that Shawn still had the magic in him after so long being away.
Yeah, I always like with Shawn, of course, like when we talk Survivor Series. For me, the big comeback is the Elimination Chamber, not the short Elimination Chamber at SummerSlam, which was like 15 minutes long or something.
Nah, the 40+ minute Elimination Chamber.
Exactly. So that's like, for me, that is like the big Shawn highlight of coming back. But I can totally see that, this is basically also like they wanted to prove that Shawn can get the title.
Yeah, and it proved that he can have another comeback, and a comeback that rivaled his original run. It's like, you think Shawn Michaels came back, that was just a one-off.
I would even go so far to say that I think that Shawn's second coming was actually better than the first. Like, even
when you look at the overall work that he's done, the talent he's worked with, he really had a second coming where he had so many great matches. The match with Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, the match against John Cena, the match against The Undertaker, Jericho. So many great matches.
Even like you think, when we also talked like my favorite stand with the wins, like the wins like Vince and Shane versus God and Shawn Michaels.
Vince is crazy. But yeah,
hallelujah.
That Triple H Shawn Michaels match was a great match, and it was a great return. And it really, like, that second return really validated him in my eyes, because like I said, I was too much of a Bret Hart mark to really give a damn about Shawn Michaels. I liked the Shawn, but not as much as Bret. But his second run, I was like, all right, Shawn, he's doing his thing, and he's having great matches with everybody. And you can't ignore that Shelton Benjamin match on Raw.
Absolutely not. Like, I mean,
greatest finish ever.
It's just like, rest in peace, Hulkster. I'm gonna miss his interview so much. Benjamin Shelton.
But yeah, that's my number 6.
Yeah, rightfully, I can totally see it. Where my number 5 probably maybe higher on most people's list, but it's actually on my 5. It's actually on my 5 because I actually care very little about some of the people in there, even though already mentioned before, old stars and all they made the match, not the gimmick made them. SummerSlam 2000, TLC, Edge, Christian.
That's my number 4.
Yeah. Edge, Christian, Dudley Boys, and of course the Hardys. I never was a big fan of the Hardy Boys. Even back then, it was like Spot Monkeys, etc.
Hey, but it's funny you say that, because I was in the same boat. I liked the Hardys, but I wasn't a huge fan of the Hardys. And over the years, I became more of a fan of Matt Hardy over Jeff Hardy. Because at least Matt was a better wrestler, and he had more characters to add to his, whereas Jeff just felt the same.
Yeah, like Matt, Matt really put hard work in his longevity to be rightfully where it is. Chef Hardy stayed Chef Hardy.
Yeah, he never changed.
Hey,
What's
Donnie.
up, Donnie?
But yeah, but you know, we already talked about a little bit before when we talked about the recent TLC match of the SummerSlam, which everybody that I've heard very much enjoyed, but nobody will remember it. Like in 20 years from now, nobody will say, oh, the TLC in 2025. But everybody, hey, the TLC in the year 2000. Because the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys made TLC.
Yep.
They made it. Like, if you would have just put 3 random teams in there, would have been fun to watch. But people nowadays, you know, like, they have to understand you have to first invest in a tag team division, and you cannot just put them randomly like in gimmick matches and hope that it will get over. You have to get them over first, and then the gimmick matches become even better.
Yeah.
And memorable. Like, you know, you have and I'm not saying, you know, you have a lot of potential tag teams in the TLC at SummerSlam that either are graves like the Motor City Machine Guns, probably not so much for the WWE audience, but of course for people who watch wrestling on a broader basis. You have like, I mean, there's still so many talented tag teams in there. They could have totally shined if you would have put a bigger spotlight on them and make the tag team title mean something. You know, more I care. Maybe I'm just gonna buy also the next TNA pay-per-view just because to see the Dudleys against the Hardy Boys.
One more time.
And this is because they're like 2 legendary teams that made themselves go over and then did the gimmick stuff.
And it really has been a long time since they had a tag match against each other. So when I think about it. So
I mean,
yeah, that TLC is just insane. Like, you thought. Go ahead.
I also like the tag team match. The Slammiversary was one of the better matches. That actually was very interesting finish with the hanging ladder. Hey,
what's up, Al? Good to see you, man.
But yeah, this is just, you know, this is how you book something. This is how you book a gimmick match, and this is how it make you feel something. The sacrifice that each of them took in this match was not in vain.
Yeah, and that spot where Devon and Jeff were hanging from the whole holster of the belts, that's insane. That's insane.
I mean, especially Devon, like, you know, like he had like recent operations, and is like it's. I truly hope he's not gonna get hurt like in his final match.
I enjoyed listening to his show.
Very much, like, it's so much fun. Also, like when he does, like, of course, he talks together with Maven. Also, like their relationship that he first hated Maven and then become like really good friends. But
bro, I gotta say, man, the whole Buff Bagwell thing.
Oh, so I get, you know, like Buff, always for me, I always had such a sweet spot for Buff. He was the perfect hype man.
Buff Daddy.
What can I say? For like Scott Steiner would not have been so. I mean, he would have been over, but he would have not been so over without Buff.
Yeah, so man.
And everybody who listens to this, if you want to torture yourself and don't want to get a song out of your fucking head for a few days, American males.
Somebody posted that on Instagram. Like, why? I do not need to hear that because now it's going to be in my head.
It's one of the. And this is why themes mean something. Good themes, because if good theme you can't get out of your head, even if it's like secondhand shaming, like a secondhand shameful.
Can you imagine playing that theme, doing the Alex right to it?
Oh boy, but yeah,
TLC is my number 4, but amazing match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic match. Like those three teams really elevated themselves to even greater heights. And I will say, the only detriment to those three teams was that every other team during the Attitude Era of 2000 just felt like they were left to the wayside, because it was all about the Edge and Christian, Hardys and Dudleys. And that was a problem. Once the Attitude Era ended, they had no teams that can replace those three.
Yeah, it's it's sometimes just the problem, like, with greatness, that you forget, like, but it's like that's like not on the people inside. That's also like it's a booking problem. Like when you hold on too long for like your for the experienced teams and then forget to build up. I mean, also at SummerSlam, the Hardys and the Dudleys and the audience got a bigger pop than anybody in the match.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
This is why it's so important that already while you have like top teams, that you have to build up the next generation. They suffer a lot from it now. When you think about it, it's like, just think about it, it's like, with whom should Cody feud? Will the fruit Drew McIntyre once more under the bus, like, to do the job? Like,
they already throwing LA Knight as a top guy against Seth Rollins, and like they can't. Man, he's gonna lose again, and y'all gonna complain on the social medias.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like you have to build up. Like, you know what? I heard that Karrion Kross got his contract renewed, so they might have long-term plans with him. But if they would have built up Karrion Kross as a top heel in the last 6 months, he could have been a believable guy to go against Cody at this point. Yeah. It's just like they lack the build-up of believable heels past the mid-card at this point.
And that's the problem with the way wrestling companies are. Even AEW just can't build up nobody believable. And nobody that they have, like Bobby Lashley, should be main event. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He should not be in the tag teams. Because AEW ain't got tag teams that can match up with Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I'll absolutely agree. Yeah. It's I watch a lot of GCW. GCW does not at this point has a single wrestler under contract. Why does GCW sometimes have better long-term storytelling than WWE? This should not happen.
Should not happen.
It's like, also, it would be so easy to, at this point, Matt Cardona is so over from the indies. You can just give him a short-term contract, like for a feud with Cody, would make it believable, because of course they both have like the indie stuff. So like to throw this, like, there are solutions out there. But yeah, like it's just like I hope that Moose is gonna be in NXT soon.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Even though I want him to get rid of the spear. I hate everybody using the fucking spear. That move is so damn overused that every time somebody does it, I'm like, man.
Only Brock is allowed to keep it.
But yeah, I'm just so sick of the spear.
Yeah.
My number 5. It's a bit lower. You would think it'd be in my top 3. Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 1991. And the only reason I got that number 5 is because their King of the Ring match is way better than this. But this match alone is still fantastic.
It's Mr. Perfect versus Bret Hart. It's like,
if Mr. Perfect was 100% healthy in this match, they would have blew it out even more out the water.
Like, you can tie both men's arms behind their back, and they're gonna deliver like a fantastic match.
I mean, this is what professional wrestling should be modeled at.
Yes.
Like, you talk about striking while the iron is hot. They broke up the Hart Foundation. They said, Bret, we're going to give you a single push. And perfect, literally perfect opponent for Bret Hart.
I mean, when you look about the SummerSlam history, you know, with the Hart Foundation at the beginning, and you can see every SummerSlam, Bret is more and more over. Like, besides Hogan, he gets like the biggest pops. Like on the show.
Well earned.
Yeah.
Because he delivers. He put in a lot of work to get himself over from those Hart Foundation days. And when they went solo with him, he was already made. Because they had him and Perfect had a series of matches in 1989. And I had a couple, my dad recorded a lot of MSG events off the network. And there was a bunch of Bret Hart Perfect matches. We had at least 3 Bret Perfect matches recorded off the MSG network. And I watched all of them. And I was like,
rightfully so.
Like, and that's why I miss those days when we used to get MSG house shows on TV.
Yeah,
and
you know,
we
that's
just
like
watch all that.
You know, that's the thing that I had it in my honorable mentions because I didn't want to make like a top 10 Bret Hart matches.
Bret Hart owns SummerSlam. It's gonna be in it.
Yeah, it's. I have absolutely agree. Rightful choice. It's.
And
it's
Perfect was doing everything to make sure Bret gets over even more. With a bad back and all. And it's like, this man is going out there. He's overperforming. When you really watch that match, he's overperforming.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when I was look at this and then I compare it with the Mr. Perfect versus Texas Tornado match, where he's like, you know, I'm like, I totally believe that Vince even said is like, don't make him look too good. he might gonna take the title to Texas.
Yeah, or he might relapse or something.
Yeah, it's and you can totally see in this match that Perfect wanted also. I mean, Bret can make himself already look very good and everybody else, but also you can really see that Mr. Perfect, that Kurt Hennig, also really wanted it for Bret.
And that's when you have that chemistry. They already had that chemistry.
Yeah.
And even with a bad back, Mr. Perfect's like, you ain't got to worry about nothing. We're going to go out there. We're going to do what we did in the past. We're going to make it even better. And you're going to get the victory. And they made everything so crisp, so clean. Like all the snapmares, all the headlock takedowns. The way Perfect was selling. He shouldn't even be selling the way he was selling, especially with a bad back. But he was like, I need to sell so I can make Bret look strong. And again, it's like this match should be studied by everybody to say this is how professional wrestling should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's my number 5, Bret Perfect SummerSlam 91. And if you watch the King of the Ring match, because that's even better.
Absolutely, that one is like the top one. My number 4 is a match that really wreaked havoc. It's King Mabel. No, jokes aside. No, my number 4 is a different kind of human destruction derby. It's SummerSlam 2022, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I mean, for me, this is the match that make the tribal chief. This is what make him believable. Like, I think I'm a big Diesel mark, but no. Even as a fucking kid, I was like, what the fuck is this? No. You know, this is the only way somebody should be able to beat Brock Lesnar. You know, the matches afterwards with Cody versus Brock, none of these matches were. I love Cody, but none of these matches were believable that he would beat Brock Lesnar. But here, like the combined force, like of the bloodline, they had to bury him literally, like under rubble. This match, like from the moment that Brock Lesnar came in with a fucking tractor, like, and just capsized the fucking ring. It's like this is like one of the most iconic SummerSlam matches. Like, this is just pure, like it's a pure human destruction derby. This is like this is like Brock Lesnar versus 100 Men. Like,
so watching Brock pick that ring up and seeing Roman just tumble out is always a hilarious sight.
This is just. This was absolutely needed at that point. I don't think that Roman Reigns would have gone on to this epic tribal chief like title reign without this match. Like, this is really the match that made him legit.
And to be honest, they needed a Destruction Derby type match because
absolutely
we were getting burnt out with Roman versus Brock.
Yes,
like, they don't have so many matches against each other. It's like, man, I'm so sick of this. When they announced the match, I was like, man, fuck WWE.
Yeah, but this is, this is one of the few times, when you play with the audience and it works out for the best. Whereas, like, because I think nobody expected, like, this madness. But it's glorious, this is a blockbuster.
Yeah, they needed something different from what.
And this SummerSlam needed this blockbuster.
Yeah, like I said, it didn't make even
and Heyman in there. I was like,
but it was a fun, enjoyable Destruction Derby type match. My number 4 we already talked about, TLC 2000. So my number 3. Going back to the Bret Hart bandwagon, because Bret Hart's, and you already know my number 2, so you know what number 1 is.
Actually,
Bret Hart, huh?
Because I think you know what this probably is.
Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 1992.
That's my number 2.
Nice, man. Let me tell you something. Watching that match as a kid it made me 100% hardcore Bret Hart fan. The match he had with Perfect at SummerSlam 91 was fantastic. The match he had with Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8 was great, and it really showed that Bret was elevated to another level, beating somebody like Piper.
Yeah.
But this match elevated Bret Hart. And I already know people are going to say, oh, it elevated him in his own mind. He thinks he's so great in his own mind because, he carried the match. He had to carry the match with what Bulldog went through.
Yeah.
And
because he was on...
When Bret said he wrestled himself in this match, like, literally, he had to work the match himself.
I mean, also, I do have to say big respect for Davey Boy Smith if somebody is so under the influence and still is able to at least be there in this capacity and can make it look believable. Like, also, but of course, like, Bret carried it. And also, I think another point where for me, like, it's also number 2 is as a European, I'm not a big fan of the British, small island, small gene pool. It's but when you're like a football fan, like a real football, Wembley is a sacred ground, and to have like this match in the real Wembley Stadium on the sacred ground of legendary football matches that go like to like the Wembley, I don't know, like the big final of England versus Germany in 1966, and it's just to have like a SummerSlam main event, at least a European main event, because I think it was Macho Man in the US back then.
Oh no, this match main event.
Yeah, but I mean, if I think like when
The
the show in the US,
the headlines they made Macho Warrior main event, but we all know this match went last.
Yeah, yes, and this was just like this was almost like a religious experience, you know. Also like also, you know, nowadays, of course, since PLEs go more internationally, you like they're getting more and more used to, you know, the frenetic fan chants that we have like in Europe, but it's just like, you know, the whole feel of the audience and the way that Brett, you know, like played with the heat that he got during the match, the heat that he created in the match, while at the end, like, you know, he's like both men were celebrated. It's just like, I actually, like, you know, would even though I think at number one we have probably the same match, but I do think in terms of having to wrestle somebody who probably should not have been cleared to be in the ring, this is like Brett's magnum opus.
Yes.
As a match performer.
Yeah. Fantastic match. And I always say, people like to say Brett can't cut promos, but the promo he cut right before the match, where he talked about how Bulldog said that he's gonna act like he don't know me and stuff like that, I thought it was so underrated, and I really thought Brett sold, you know, the impact of fighting his brother-in-law.
I do think Brett can't cut promos where he basically, you know, he can't cut promos that don't feel real to him. But when he gets really into the match, when it feels real to him, then he can do it very well.
When it comes to Brett and his promos, he's not being over the top. He doesn't have a lot of charisma, but you just feel something real about him. Like he talks like a regular person, and he speaks from the heart, and he keeps it real. You know, like Dave said, he don't keep it real and goes wrong. Like, no, he keeps it real. The only way he kept it real and it went wrong was Montreal Screwjob. But it just felt real for Brett, and that's why I felt like the promo he cut here was so great in terms of selling that story. And the match alone, like, he did so much to help Bulldog get through that match. And I'll give Bulldog respect for him being under the influence. He still held his weight.
Yeah, you can see it in his eyes that, you know, that there is light on, but nobody like. And
the only spot that was bad was when Bulldog was out the ring and Brett jumped over the catapult on top of him, and Bulldog didn't see him, so Brett had to adjust and grab him and turn backwards, because that could have been devastating.
Yeah, but respect to David, it didn't hurt Brett, because there were some spots where I'm like, you know, these kind of spots need concentration. But Davey Boy, like at this point, like probably like muscle memory is a thing, and basically was like on autopilot with a lot of spots, luckily.
But yeah, my number 3, and that's your number 2.
Yeah, it's because it's just this iconic, like especially like in Europe. Even though if I don't consider England as Europe.
So number 3 for you.
My number 3 is actually quite a modern one, and it's the only women match on my list.
Wow, high.
Yeah. It's very high because, you know, it's SummerSlam 2024. It's Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley.
Didn't I have that finish? The weak finish. They didn't want to put the belt back on Rhea so quick.
Yeah, I would say weak finish. It had actually the best finish, because Dominic as a heel turned even more heel.
He turned more heel, but I felt like that was gonna happen. The way the storyline was built up,
yeah,
like
but
you kind of see it, like, because
Liv, it's like, I mean, it's like
getting on.
the in-ring work was solid.
Yeah, it was good.
But why is for me so high on the list is because this elevated Dominic's character so much. Like as a heel, he turned even more heel. Like the heat he created and the way that Rhea sold like her sadness, like the breakup, the betrayal after he kissed Liv. Also, match shout out to Dominic as a married man to get Rhea afterwards kissing Liv. For me, I think this is like a SummerSlam moment that we're still gonna talk about. I think this match will become more iconic with every year passing. Like Rhea and Dominic will form legacies in the next 2 decades that will make them part like of the greats of wrestling history. And this is gonna be one of these matches that also basically is like the crossroads for both of the characters, because they really want to turn Rhea fully face. Because let's face it, at this point, nobody booed Mommy. Like everybody cheered for Mommy, and
you had kids pushing Dominic out the way, wanting the picture with Mom.
Exactly, and then you have Dominic, who already everybody hated, and then to turn super heel as a heel, like I think this is like, like I said, the in ring work is solid. It also I also think that Liv got a fantastic run of it. Like Liv got so much better through this run. Like
I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, so this elevated everybody in there. Like the match itself would probably not deserve to be on a number 3, but I think that this created. Rhea was already a star, but I think this created 3 main eventers. Like Dominic is not a main eventer yet, but he will be. He will. Also, like in this SummerSlam match, it's just he is fucking Eddie Sun, like yeah. So for me, just by like, I think many people would argue now against it, but maybe agree with me like in 10 years that this is a worthy number 3 spot.
Hey, subjective, man. It's all subjective. And again, I thought the match was fine, and the finish, Dom turning heel when he's already a heel was funny, but they kind of set it up. Like you kind of see it coming because how the build up. And I understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and it is something that we're going to talk about. But at the same time, I just felt that it was a great turn for a good match, but it didn't resonate with me to the point where I like it's top 10. But I totally marked out for this, and it was like still a point where you really wanted to see it, but I also personally had thoughts that they will do it, they will go through with it, and right now like Dominic going at Roxanne and Liv gonna be mad. Hey, Dom is living the life we all wish we had.
Yeah, I have a fantastic life, but I'm living my life through Dominic.
He can go home to be his wife, and then he got wives at wrestling jobs. So
and the thing is, he's also so quick in his mind, in all the interviews. It's like the CM Punk one recently.
Oh yeah, Dom has grown on the mic. Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, man, like CM Punk is exposed in the business.
Dom is so damn entertaining. Who would have thought when we first saw him, when he came in with his father, it's like, he kind of bland and stuff. He's trying to live off his dad. Now, I can't get enough of him. Every time I see him, I got to hear what Dom got to say, because he's going to say something hilarious.
Yeah. And I really think this is the match that, turned in from Mommy's bitch into Papi.
Yeah. So, like I said, you had great reason for it being your top 3. And, hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
And we all have our number 2. We talked. My number 2 is the ladder match between HBK and Razor, and your number 2 was Bret and Bulldog.
And I'm pretty sure I know what your number 1 is.
SummerSlam 94.
94. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. The best steel cage match in fucking history. Like, everything about this match is perfect. You know, that's the thing, you know, nowadays, like when you have that the problem is nowadays when they have a steel cage match, they have a normal match in a cage.
That was Fatu and Solo.
Yeah. It's like there is no urgency to leave it. Right now, here from the beginning, they were going at each other, and then the story was all about, like, you know, everybody was trying, of course, to get out of the steel cage, and the other one from preventing for it. And it's like, it's, you know, this is like you immediately have full immersion. The match starts, Owen going right at Bret. You know, in the ring corner, it's like, you mean nothing to me. It's like, it's wow.
The part where Bret was crawling to the door and Owen was laid out, and then Owen just popped up and just lunged himself down.
Yeah, it's
that the tension in this match was so high with how they played with those escape teasers.
Exactly. This is how you make a steel cage match. I mean, it means something, make it believable. You know, right now, it's like when you have the steel cage matches, it's like basically have a normal match and then they try to get out. It's like, no, it's like you want to win the match, you want to get out. And also, it's the thing is like in this match, you want to get out as early as possible because you're not getting paid by the minute. And this is so fucking believable because both brothers were going at it. Of course, you can see that. And also, like, of course, it was built up from the fantastic, one of the best starter match of WrestleMania with Owen versus Bret. Owen won.
Yes.
And it's
the build up from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania to Owen winning King of the Ring and having Anvil not only help him win the match, but cost Diesel beating Bret and getting Bret disqualified, so Bret can hang on to the title. And then that interview Owen did inside the cage with the dark background with the blue light sun, so fantastic. Great. The build up to this match was fantastic. The match was so damn good. And I can't stand when people say, oh, I thought the match was boring. All they did was try to escape the cage. I'm like,
exactly.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's the rules of the match. It's like, of course
they think, oh, it's a steel cage match. Oh, it's gonna be a bloody brawl. They're gonna throw each other into the cage. Yeah. They're gonna beat each other up. Owen's main objective was to escape the cage as quickly as he can and win the belt so he can brag to Bret.
Exactly, and it's like, there's like when you dissect this match from the rules, from the gimmick of the steel cage, you will find no error in this match. This is a perfect match. There's nothing that you can objectively criticize about it. You can subjectively say, oh, this is not my kind of match. That is completely fine. But objectively, this is a perfect match. Like, there is nothing that you could do in there to book it better, except Owen winning. Which is this is the thing about this match. I think I watched this match now like for the 30th time or something. And this match is still so tense that I still hope, hey, maybe this time Owen wins.
With 30 years later, and it's like, what? There's still chances that Owen can win this match.
I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling about it this time.
And the suplex off the top of the cage is so beautifully done.
Yeah,
that's what you call making a high spot matter.
Yeah, it's, you know, you don't need to be like you don't need to do like fucking 30 flips or something if they don't mean something within the story of the match. Like, every move needs to be believable.
Put Jeff Hardy in this match. He can get to the top of the cage. All you gotta do is go down to win. oh no, let me take off my shirt. He's down for the count. I gotta do the swanton bomb.
Yeah, that's
on,
like that's what bothers me so often. Is like, you know, when that's my biggest criticism with Jeff Hardy is like he's not going, like, you know, very often the ladder, not really going for the title, like not going to escape like a cage match, also doing moves that probably damage him more than the person he actually hits, where this makes no sense. And like, you know, I love my death matches, but in this regard, I am 100% with Jim Cornette, where this shit needs to be believable. I don't need to be reminded in a match that this is predetermined. And this match, like I said, you know, it's like this feels real. Like, you know, we are both now like 40, like 41, 42 years old, and we're still watching this and having like a little hope that the outcome is different.
The believability is gone. Everybody wants to get their spots in. And that's the thing. You see these matches today, they want to do dives off the cage. They want to do a dive off the ladder, off the top of the turnbuckle. Man, I'm surprised Jim Cornette didn't talk about what Swerve did a couple weeks ago. Okada and the Young Bucks standing outside, Swerve on the top rope. They thinking he's going to do a splash. This motherfucker going to do a double stomp on the outside, putting his legs on. What the fuck you trying to do?
Yeah, I also hate. One of these things I hate the most about modern wrestling is when people get up and outside, they're like doing this fake walking thing and just waiting already to catch the person. It's like
Pull
no,
that motherfucker down.
Yeah, it's and also like the selling of Bret and Owen in this one, it's like, and that's the art of it, to not hurt each other, but it looks like it hurts. Which, of course, in the later SummerSlam with Owen and Stone Cold, it's probably, there's a reason why this is not on the top 10 list.
And they were heading towards top 10 with the way that match was going.
But yeah, it's
they sold so wonderful. And I'll say this: Bret Hart, he's got to be the only champion that can win a match, yet look beat up and defeated afterwards. Because the aftermath, where Jim Neidhart and Owen Hart beat him up inside the ring, and you have all the Harts and the Bulldogs trying to get inside to stop it, it's like they made Bret look weak even in winning the match.
Yeah.
And it's
Owen got his heat back immediately.
He got his heat back, and Bret looked like a winner, but a loser at the same time.
Yeah,
and they did this a lot with Bret.
I mean, the way they booked it, the finish was so great. You know, with Owen, you know, getting stuck his leg and hanging
upside down, and Bret just jumped down.
That was
fantastic finish.
It was such a perfect finish, which still like gives Owen, like, you know, this was a freak accident. Like, you know, with Owen, this was a freak accident. Like, I should have won this.
Man, we're talking intensely about this great match.
Yeah,
and
you know, everybody
we'll never get this type of enjoyment of wrestling ever again.
It's really and this is like the thing where, you know, we have luckily all these matches of the past. It's like, you know, nowadays, you know, I enjoy modern wrestling. I enjoy the indies. Of course, the indies are sometimes way worse with their selling. You know, where people just take the craziest move in front of 100 people for like a few bucks, and then immediately jump up and do the other stuff. It's
problematic.
It is problematic, and you know, like. And this is also what I really enjoyed in the interview with Gunther and The Undertaker, where Gunther said he saw this on the indies, and he said, I'm gonna go the exact opposite way. I don't want to be like everybody else.
You know what? I just want to see Gunther and Omos throw down. Like, just let these two big men just beat the shit out of each other and have a realistic big man battle.
Yeah, I have to say what is fantastic. I mean, recently got a little bit too WWE heavy. Bloodsport is still fantastic because it's such a pure
Shit,
experience.
Natty doing her thing over there.
She's so fucking good at it, and she loves it. You can really see her. Her bout with Marsha was amazing. Even though I was still very much pissed that Marsha didn't win the NXT title.
Me too.
Yeah, that really put a that really
they putting way too much stock in JC.
Yeah, I like her. I do think that the women have way too few heels, and she's a natural heel. I think that she can be a valuable heel, but I'm also like I'm a big mark for Marsha. I mean, it's the grace when you know Marsha, you know from her death matches and other stuff like from GCW, and then you see like the Tame and A version of her. It's a little different, but she's so talented. She's like 26 and already doing this since 10 years. Yeah. Or at least she's 27. Like she's still fucking young, and she's fucking young and has already a lot of experience. Usually, you only have this sort of experience when you're young and experienced when you're like a hooker on the streets. Yeah, young and experience is like it's rare.
This is why we are who we are, man. Hey, so that's our top 10 SummerSlam matches, our favorite matches. Great list, man. That was great.
Yeah, I also love your list. Yeah,
it was really good.
I'm also very happy that you had like the Brainbusters.
I had to. Rewatching it on WWE Vault.
Yeah,
this match is so damn good, man. And I had it in my top 10 previously, before I revised it.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's got to be honorable mention because I got to bring up.
This is also the thing with the list is if I do the list tomorrow, there may be some changes. And also, I didn't watch any other lists on YouTube because I didn't want to be like influenced by any. Like after our stream, I'm gonna finally watch like the 25 favorite matches from Solo Monster.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't want to watch it before like our stream because I just wanted to have my list without any outside influence.
Yeah.
But I'm also pretty sure that because he's also like a big fan of the Owen and Brett match, so I'm also pretty sure it's gonna be very high on his list.
And I got some stuff to show, but I want to get into the Hulk Hogan discussion.
Yeah.
No. Hulk Hogan passed away a couple weeks ago. And I'm gonna say this right here. Like, I don't condone what Hulk Hogan said. It really made me look at him differently. And although I can still say that I grew up as a Hulkamaniac, I was a Hulk Hogan fan, and I know there are people out there that weren't Hulk Hogan fans. Like, they hated his style of wrestling. But I grew up watching it and I enjoyed it. And then you had the NWO era, 1996, when the NWO formed. Even though he was in WCW in 94, but it was that NWO that really brought Hulk Hogan back to that prominence role. And again, he led 2 eras of wrestling with the Rock and Wrestling 80s and the Monday Night Wars of the 90s.
Yeah.
So like I said, you cannot ignore Hulk Hogan's impact on professional wrestling. I don't like things he said. It's especially, all things considering that it was completely fucking unnecessary.
Yeah, and it's also, it's also like, first of all, of course, it's sadly the more authentic when like, because he said it in private without knowing that it's gonna be recorded. So it's sadly like a very authentic thing. Then also the way the way he dealt with it was. Dude, like I think the most harmless word you can put it as like unfortunate. very, very unfortunate. And yeah, it's it's the thing is, what I think is what is the best way to deal with it is to, of course, differentiate between the figure Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea. Like, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Like, he didn't kill anybody. He just had some disgusting views. And he didn't really put these views out there outside of being recorded when he didn't know it was recorded. So he was like, I think it was on the point he knew that these were like problematic viewpoints, so he didn't mention them like in public. So it's, I can totally understand, of course, that there's when somebody took so many advantages from your culture, transformed it like into his style, while then completely putting that culture and its people down. Like, it's actually a miracle that so many black people still have such a deep love for Hulk Hogan. So
it's very conflicted.
I believe so, because it's people our age, we grew up, like, Hulk Hogan is one of my earliest childhood memories. Like I already told the story before, when I was visiting my grandfather and my family was talking, TV was on, and I saw like the promo with Hulk and Andre, where Andre tore the cross from Hogan, and it's just like, this is like one of my earliest childhood memories, and it's like it's, and then to hear like somebody who in gimmick is this guy who stands up for the freedom of every person, like for every man on this planet, and then finding out that, hey, in private he's a self-admitted racist to a point.
And you know what's very problematic is the amount of black people that were by his side throughout wrestling. I mean, Mr. T, Dennis Rodman,
yeah,
Shaquille O'Neal. That's what really like
mosquito.
That's what really like messed me up with him. It's like, you always say that it was, you didn't mean to say it, but you said it, and you said it in a harsh tone.
Yeah, the hard R.
The harsh R
yeah.
tone.
There's still a difference. There's like a difference. For example, when you have somebody like Dick Murdoch, or like Ole Anderson, where basically they're not dancing around it. No. But then you have but I think the betrayal feels so much. I mean, of course, first of all, somebody needs to feel like a friend in order for them that they can betray you. But Hulk Hogan took, like, for the lack of other words, he took so much street credibility from Dennis Rodman, from like I said, from Shaquille O'Neal, but like in other performers, like black performers, while holding these views, and that's actually a sad thing, because I think it would have been totally acceptable if he would have held these views before, and then by having actually met, like, worked together with a lot of like people that he's like reformed. Is like, hey, because when you look at it, like, he benefited so much from it.
Big time.
Exactly, and that this didn't change his viewpoint on it is I think it's that must feel very betraying and not good.
About as betrayed as how Shelton Benjamin felt with his name.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But again, I'm like I said, I agree with Kevin Nash on the people saying all the
Yeah.
vicious negative things, and even the people who are jumping on other blacks for
Yeah.
posting pictures with Hogan and stuff, and they have leaving.
I mean,
nasty comments.
Dennis Rodman because like they NWO for life and people shit on that is that, and there's also like a difference that it's like I said, where I also totally agree with Kevin Nash that I would never ever attack a person that is already dead. There's just no point to it.
There's no point. There's no need to be as vile and vicious in these comment sections.
Our lifetime as human beings is so short.
The best way to look at it, if you don't like Hulk Hogan for what he said and stuff, just say, hey, I don't like it. You ain't got to say nothing. You just say, it is what it is. Just let him go by his business.
Exactly, and the thing about Hulk Hogan, I during his life, I was able to laugh at all the stupid things he said, all the lies he told about like all the backstabbing, etc. I was able to laugh about it. We talked about it. We had fantastic times on this channel when we talked about it, because the thing with Hulk Hogan was that how can you be mad at somebody that doesn't even feel real? And he was so much larger than life that basically nothing that he ever said like actually really felt like human.
But again, like you say, he was larger than life, and everybody knew who he was. And when I read a comment about how on Jim Cornette's video about somebody said John Cena is iconic, and I'm like, no, the fuck he ain't. There's nothing about Cena, for me, at least for me, that makes him feel iconic compared to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, exactly. That when I talk to people, and like I say, a wrestling fan, and there's like maybe to Cena, a lot of people think he's an actor and have actually no idea that he is a wrestler.
Yeah.
While Hulk Hogan, also like thanks to his acting skills, never was mistaken for an actor.
But everybody knew him as a wrestler.
Exactly, like John Cena did nothing for wrestling.
No.
Like nobody ever became a wrestling fan because of John Cena. Maybe like
little
a few
kids
people
in the PG era, like
but they would have been there anyway. Like they would have just cheered like for the flavor of the month otherwise. While when it's like Cena is getting his pops now. Like a lot of the young audience that didn't live through the horrible Super Cena times, see him like as his legend, etc. But when you listen at how the crowd went wild when Hogan entered, it's a different animal. Like Hulk Hogan, like I say, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe was like one of the most famous people on the planet. You could go to to Somalia. You could go like on a Pacific island. You could go like to Cuba. Everybody knew Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. and like I said, I will remember Hogan for the impact he made on wrestling. I will not remember Terry Bollea for the things he said. Like that stuff, I know he said it, but I just know that I'm gonna separate that person from the character of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I will defend Hulkamania until the last breath. I will not defend. I will not defend a lot of things that Terry Bollea said.
Yeah, it's almost like the Chris Benoit situation.
It's like there's still a few like levels.
It's different, but at the same time, it's like you love Benoit as a wrestler.
Yeah.
But that whole situation is like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I look at it.
And I think that's a very healthy way to look at it, because I don't fault any person who says that they don't want to have anything to do with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I do say a big fuck you to any person who goes on any post, any video, and like that celebrates the life of Hulk Hogan and bullshits there. Like, when somebody, I think this also has a lot to do with respect, a lot to do with manners, and how somebody should be raised. That when somebody passes away, that there is just, it makes absolutely no sense to hold on to a grudge. Like,
just move on.
Exactly. And every human being, doesn't matter how, like, it doesn't matter like how horrible deeds somebody did. There is somebody in their life that loved them very much due to friendship, family, etc. And nobody should be attacked for loving somebody, even if that person is evil, or even if the person has like said, like, like there is, especially in this day and age, there. We also talk about it, with modern movie criticism. There is a big range between 0 and 10, and the more perfect a person seems to be, the more I assume there is some deeper waters like behind that one, behind that person. Where
if we look at the future of Demolition Man, they tried to be perfect when they were imperfect.
Yeah.
So that's our discussion on Hogan. Take it how you will, but
Hulkamania will live forever, will run wild forever. Terry Bollea hopefully found his peace.
And without Hulk Hogan, we wouldn't have the popularity of WrestleMania.
Exactly.
So I have a couple things I want to share.
Ooh.
Hey, what the hell is this format? The fuck?
Hey, where am I? Where am I?
There you go. Like,
it's like, it's like
barely say like changes. So
I barely say Hulkamania will run wild forever. I'm already cancelled here.
Nah, man, nah. But I got my in stock trade books in.
Oh,
the
nice.
recent Conan. Look forward to reading that. And I finally got Battle of the Black Stone.
Yeah, I think that was some minor criticism, because I think it was a little bit too rushed. I think it should have had more issues, but it's still, like, luckily at this day and age we can criticize Conan from a very high point.
Yeah, man, I haven't read this in a long time. I can't remember the last time when I got volume 3. This is the 4th collection. I think this wraps up the entire run, and I gotta read the first 3 because it's been so long.
Talking about reading, it's like August. I have to start with the Hellboy comics. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. We gotta do the Hellboy discussion.
Yeah.
Man, we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. The Omnibus Strike Force
Oh
Mortarion.
yeah, nice.
This was so good, man. Got the whole series and the miniseries that followed. Stuff like this, obscure stuff like this, that was good in the '80s, needs to be talked about more.
And I also have to say that you can criticize you can criticize modern things a lot, but at least we are getting like a lot of these stories like in an omnibus, and
Yep.
This would have probably not have been able with old code distribution.
Got the Bitter Root Omnibus.
Oh, nice.
I read the first couple of issues, the first 5-6 issues before they took their hiatus, and I enjoyed it. But I never really picked back up on it. So now I'm gonna read the whole volume 1. This right here is the prize for me. The visual history. The Real Ghostbusters. Deluxe edition.
Nice.
They got the slipcase.
Probably a better purchase than all of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive glow-in-the-dark variants, reprints, figures.
And this is what it comes.
Nice.
Get 2 shell.
I gotta rewatch this series at one point.
Just stop when you get done with the syndicated episodes, because once the voice changes, man, it's a wrap.
And also, of course, when it becomes Slimer and
oh my god, somebody played Slimer on one of their Saturday morning broadcasts, and I was like, why the fuck you playing this shit? It ain't aged at all. And I got a package that I'm gonna unbox.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yes, sir. And it's something that I've been waiting for a good while. You know what it is. Bam. Ghostbuster 2 Pops.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yes. I was reminded about his death scene in Leviathan. I was like, get out of me. Yeah, man. Thanks, man. I always liked those alternate uniforms they wore in Ghostbusters 2. I wish they would have worn more.
Yeah, those looked. The color scheme was really nice in them. I mean, it's like a dark gray is just timeless.
Yeah, man. I wish they wore that in the second half of the movie more.
Yeah.
I finally got the Ghostbusters 2 Funko Pops, man. Awesome, man. That's my haul.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, man, it was a great time, and 3 weeks we took off, and now we're gonna take 3 more weeks off because I got nothing but appointments all on Fridays, so we won't be back until September unless
September. You know what? We also should talk in September.
What's that, man? Because there's a couple movies I had on mind.
In the memory of the great Hulk Hogan.
Did you finally watch that Mackenzie Island?
Oh no. But I think one of the most hilarious films, which actually was more entertaining than it had any right to be.
Please don't say Sammy with muscles.
No, and I want to rewatch it. It's Hulk Hogan is not in it, but Kevin Nash playing a character that is based on Hulk Hogan is in it.
It's not the longest yard.
No, it's from 2006 or 7.
I've never seen it.
It's Dead or Alive. Bess Armstrong played by Kevin Nash, who is based on Hulk Hogan. And
I've never seen this.
You've never seen it? This is
never seen this.
It's first of all, it's I mean, it's of course based on the fighting game, and Bess Armstrong, the character. Just ask Chase. Chase probably knows everything about it, and will highly advise you not to watch the film.
That doesn't give me good confidence.
But Kevin Nash is in it playing a Hulk Hogan parody.
Damn. Maybe it's free on YouTube, man.
Yeah, let's keep this one in mind.
let me look it up real quick. Good lord, Kevin Nash playing Hulk Hogan. Who would have thought?
Because there actually was a thing where I just recently watched Wrestling Bio's video about the video game figures where Hulk Hogan is, and he didn't even put Bess Armstrong in, but Bess Armstrong is based on Hulk Hogan. And in the comments, I was all like, "That is hey, Bess Armstrong."
I wonder if Jason's still listening, because oh lord, dead or alive.
Yeah.
There it is, right there, folks.
I've seen it in cinemas.
There it is.
I've seen it in cinemas because I was going there for the babes back then. And I marked out when Kevin Nash was in it because I had no idea he was in it. And I was like, the Diesel, Kevin Nash, yeah!
Hey. Jason, don't waste your time.
Come on, we wasted our time with worse.
Hey!
It's no alien intruder. It's no alien intruder.
Well, that was the only bad movie we talked about on this channel. Now you trying to add another one.
There's plenty of meat on that bone.
Hey, if we talk this movie, we gonna get Jace to join us so he can rip it.
Suffer with us. Chase, you just talk yourself into a shoot, brother.
You talked yourself into a shoot. It's over. Now you gotta join us to talk this bad movie.
Never talk yourself into a shoot, brother.
Gotta use the Hulk Hogan verbiage against you.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, we'll be on hiatus for 3 weeks. And most likely we may talk about that movie. Like I said.
Chase will go undercover and not to be heard of.
Chase will be like, I don't need you guys sullying my name.
we just booked him without him knowing it.
A steel cage match. You can't go anywhere, Jason. Roof on the cover too.
Hell in the cinema.
We'll see y'all next time. What did you say?
Well, you gotta give him the Alex the Large treatment from A Clockwork Orange.
Oh man. But yeah, we'll sign off there. Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll see you in next month.
September. See you in September.
1st of September. Later, y'all.
Okay, bye.